And Coach Mike Battles of the B.B. Comer Tigers, the head football coach, athletic director, joins us again this morning. And the final game of the season is tomorrow night against Fayetteville. And Coach, welcome to the show this morning.
Well, I appreciate it.
And it's a long trip from Roanoke, Alabama, ain't it?
Well, sometimes it's harder than other times. It just depends on how you catch them log trucks.
There you go. Or try to get around them, one of the two. Talk about last week's game. Got some points on the board, but just not enough.
Well, I think, I think first thing is that Beulah they've improved. Mm-hmm. They've got some good football players, and they're a little bit quicker than we thought they were. They came out, they've watched film and saw some of the stuff that's been happening to us, and they put it in and did a good job with it. And it took us a little while. They did it a different way, and it took us a little while to get recovered. And then once we did, then we tried to stop it, but they just kept pecking around till they found the weakness, and they went to it. And they had several plays where what we call a counter. They run the counters and did a good job and turned it upfield, and we couldn't catch them.
But it's not anything that you hadn't seen or anything you hadn't practiced.
We knew exactly what they were going to, we knew exactly, we didn't know how they were going to get there, but we knew what they were going to do. And they did it, and we were able to, we'd hoped offensively, for us to be successful. Again, it boils down to the same thing. We can't stay out there on defense until they get in the end zone. If we do, we're not going to win any ball games. We have to get our offense, move the ball the second half, and it helped us out some. But the ball game's already decided. They were up 26-6. We came back through a long pass, and then we were able to execute some offense and all, and move the ball. And we were almost, we were fixing to score right at the end of the game. But there's just no point in it. Mm-hmm. The ball game had been decided, and so what we've got to do against Fayetteville or anybody that we play, we can't. Every drive cannot end up for them in the end zone. And if it does, they've got to punt. We've got to see their punting team. And if we do, then we're in good shape.
Fayetteville tomorrow night, Coach John Limbaugh, the Fayetteville Wolves, having an off year this year, but in the last few years they had some pretty good football teams down there.
No, sure. We've had some struggle. Listen, the ball game last year went all 48 minutes, mm-hmm. all the way to the end. The game before, the year before, we called them at the middle of the season, but it was still, they came out there. I think it was the year before, it was like 50-40 or something like that. But then last year we played the whole ball game. This year we expect the same thing. They're struggling. We're struggling, but this ball game is starting to be a rivalry for what, I don't know why, but the kids just seem to get up for this ball game, and
it's different in Beulah, that's for sure.
Well, that's true, but they struggle a little bit. We struggle, so it's going to be two teams out there trying to end the season with a win.
Speaking of the season finale, practice this week for seniors, especially, and there are not many of them. They're going to be playing their last game in a B.B. Comer uniform.
Oh, well, that's true, and it's the same thing for Fayetteville. Seniors, this is it. It's going to be a sudden stop. There's not going to be any more football. Most of them have played the last competitive ball game. The next time they'll play football will be with junior out there in the backyard. So, we've told our seniors, and I think our seniors will go out there and play. They're ready to go. And
how many do you have?
We have 3 that'll be playing.
Wow.
Now, we have, here's what, we lost players during the year early. We lost Cody Ogle. Cody's the senior. Cody was a utility man. Punt return, kickoff return, played defensive back, the whole 9 yards. We lost him. We lost Michael Cherry. Michael was an offensive lineman. We lost him in the spring, an ACL on just got cut down during the ball game during the spring game. We lost Rush Ward tore his hamstring during the summer, in July, and was a season-ending injury and had to have surgery. We lost, we've just now got Deion Gaddis back. Deion's been out he was out for like 6 weeks with an MCL. And, we've had key players on a team that couldn't afford injuries. Mm-hmm. We've lost 5 starters. Mm-hmm. And they weren't able to come back and play.
13 players you'll dress out tomorrow night.
I tell you what, you got to enjoy what,
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we fought. We don't have a lot of stuff going on the buses coming back now. After 48 minutes of playing Ironman
eat a
football,
sandwich and come home.
Right. Well, they don't have, there's nothing left. Everything is out there on the field. We were still driving the football at the end of the game Friday night. You know, they've played as hard as they can play. They've gotten out there and done as, you know, 5 threes are not going to catch 4 5s, and that's all there is to it. And you know, but they'll run with them. They'll run after them, but we're not going to catch them. And so. They, you know, again, you know, when you just get fatigued and you fatigued all, you know, then it wears you down. But
no matter how the season concludes, I think you were telling me that you were one student above the threshold from 2A to 3A last counting time?
That is correct, last reclassification.
And so the reclassification is for the next season, correct?
Next 2 seasons.
Okay.
It's a 2-year reclassification, and it'll come. But, you know, there again, it could change. It could not change. It'll just depend on what the state's done with the, you know, what the numbers are. You turn the numbers in, then you put in there, you know, the top 32 are going to be 7A, and then the next 65 are going to be 6A and on down. It goes on down the classification, and we have to turn. You know, you turn in the numbers that you have, and it goes from there. The last time we were, I think we were 1.5 away from being a big 2A.
And that's a big difference as far as competition is concerned, from a 2A to a 3A.
It is in a small, you know, in a small school, just like, you know, we've talked. When in a small school, kids cycle through. You have a good cycle, and then you have a cycle where you don't have as many athletes and all that. And in a small, you just have to live through it. You have to play through it and get through it. You know, our junior high, like I said, for the last 3 years, our junior high, they've lost. They won the championship, played for it, and then won it. And so there's some kids coming in that 7th, 8th, and 9th grade that are going to be good. They'll be 10th graders, but it's still young. They can't, you know, we tried putting them some 8th graders and 9th graders out there. They didn't like it. They didn't enjoy it, and we didn't enjoy it. That's you don't sending a 13 or 14-year-old out there against an 18 or 19-year-old. That's not, you know, that's you're looking for trouble. And so we're, you know, you just can't make a living doing that. And what we've done is the guys that we got left out there are all 10 through 12, and they're all, you know, they're mature enough to get out there and play and know what they can do and what they can't do.
Final game tomorrow night, Fayetteville and B.B. Comer. You know what they're going to do, and they know what you're going to do.
Well, you know, they're just like us. Everybody's on huddle. Everybody knows pretty much what's going on, and everything has it broke down. You know, what we're going to try to do is get out there and our offense. Really, offensively, we've been executing pretty good. There's a lot of things that we do that work well, and our kids can do them. And we've missed a lot of big plays. We've had receivers open all year long, and either we overthrew them, or we didn't have time to get the ball to them. You know, those kind of things. Or of course, that's for any football team. And you know, execution is the name of the game. You know, there's the 3 things in football that never changes: block, tackle, and execute. Never changes. And if we do that, then if we can get out there and execute, make first downs, and have the drives end in a, you know, some kind of points, or then we're in good shape. What we can't do is we can't go out there and play defense all night long. We can't have 3 and outs. If we do, if we're going to use up all of our energy, we're going to use it on offense.
Tomorrow night, kickoff at 7 o'clock, B.B. Comer hosting Fayetteville, the final game of the season. And we're 2 years out now from the Marble City Classic, which Sylacauga and B.B. Comer played for a lot of years. You were involved in making that decision not to continue that series. Maybe people watching this morning, I've had some tell me, well, what happened to the Marble City Classic? Well, what happened to the Marble City Classic?
Well, I mean, it's not for things to be competitive. You know, if you're just like Alabama and Auburn, do you think that if Alabama beat Auburn for the last 19 years in a row, that they would, you know, that everybody would be fired?
Wouldn't be looking forward to it.
That is correct. Or if they lost to, let's say they lost to Chillersburg 18 years in a row. So we got 37 years there of. There's no we win 3 or 4 and they win 3 or 4 and then we win 2 and they win 1 and that kind of stuff right there. That's, you know, and we, just like if we went out Friday night and had to play Sylacauga, we wouldn't dress out probably as many football players as they have managers. And that's the way things are, you know. And it got down when we played them like 2 years ago. Coach Griffith and them, they knew that the ball game was over on the first play. Mm-hmm. They hit us, we fumbled, they went in the next play. And then after that, we wouldn't have made a first down against their starters. And they took the starters out, and we were able to play. I think we scored on maybe their B team or something, but it was not a ball game, not even a contest from the opening kickoff till the end. And you're not, you know, they dress out. They have more freshman football players, just ninth grade football players, than we have involved in the program.
For people who may be watching this morning and saying, well, you've won one game this season, so why not play the big boy still?
Well, the thing about it is we get out there, if we go out there with 13 players, then we're looking, if we get somebody injured or anything like that, I mean, it's just too much of a mismatch. You know, and it changes practice. We think that we can play with Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. We didn't think that we could play with Sylacauga. And it changes the whole complexion of the ball game.
Right.
You know, and you know, people say, well, it's a money game. Well, that's money at 1 year. The next year you get your butt beat and you still ain't got no money.
Well, let's put some butts in the seat tomorrow night as B.B. Comer concludes their season against the Fayetteville Warriors. You know, Fayetteville will bring a lot of folks, and be good to see those Tiger fans fill the seats too.
Well, I think it'll be, I don't know, the rivalry I believe is growing, and I think that Fayetteville and B.B. Comer need to stay on the schedule with each other year to year, whether it's that last ball game, the first ball game, or wherever. And it'll, you know, again, everybody's wondering right now where they're going to fit in reclassification. Mm-hmm. So there's no schedules, but you can't. We've talked to people about playing the next 2 years, and then you'll see. You know, we'll find out what the state does, and once they do that, then everything clears up.
What date is that when they decide?
There's not a guaranteed date, but it'll be, you know, it should be sometime in December.
Okay.
You know, November, December.
All right. Mike Battles, head football coach and athletic director at B.B. Comer High School. Our guest, Coach, always a pleasure, and we'll see you one more time after next week's game.
All right.
Or after tonight's game, or tomorrow night's game. Get it all together here in a little bit. Coach Mike Battle this morning on our show, Coach's Corner. We'll be back with more after this.